Greetings, Inquisitors. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the week 235 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week. Go through all the character ships, mods, Datacrons, whatever I'm doing for the account so that y'all can follow along. Please remember, as we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Those things do help me, and I would appreciate it if you could do that. All right, so first things first, we're going to get in here on Rey Vision, and we're going to add 2 Zetas and 2 Omicrons to try to make this even better for Grand Arena, make SLKR more of a threat, be able to do more things. So I think those resources are going to be worth it here. Then the plan for week 235 was to get Shin to relic, so we're going to go ahead and put her at gear 13. We're just going to put 1 relic level on for now, kind of a placeholder to get her started. I'm saving my signal data because I do want to do some higher relic levels for these Specter characters. So here we see Galactic Legend Ahsoka's at 148,000 health, 570 speed, 5,900 on the attack power, 78.2 armor. We do have 2 health mods on her. We've got a speed arrow, health circle as well, and then we've got a defense mod still. So it's not ideal, but this gets her up to 166,000. And 6,000 damage and 78.8 on the armor. So decent chunk of durability there. Here we're working on Padawan Sabine, and I'm going to take her triangle up, crit damage triangle, and we're going to slice it up, use some calibration on it, try to get the best mod we can there. And then I'm looking at this arrow and I'm thinking probably better if we convert that arrow to offense. So we convert that arrow to offense, and then we take the character to relic 8. And that puts her total offense 9660. And I wanted to see if I could get this over 10,000. So we keep working on mods. We're going to come back in here, and we're actually going to slice up her square to get the offense boosted on that. And then we come in and we work also on the circle, trying to get a roll into offense. And we get the damage to 10,101. So relic 8, some pretty high damage, and we do have a crit damage triangle on there. So that's the work I did on her. Mods for the week, here we've got a gray mod that we're working our way up on, 14 speed. It is an offense mod with an offense main stat, which is pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and 6 dot that, keep slicing it up. We don't get the 4th roll on speed, so we're going to calibrate a little bit here, and we just get a couple stats moving around, and that's all we can get. So not going to continue that, but we'll lock it down. It's okay. It's 15 speed mod with some decent stats on it. Here's another gray mod that's going to get 9 speed, and then we try again. It gets 13. That's kind of the minimum that I want to 6 dot it, but then we get another nice hit there. 5 more speed to take it up to 18. So think about it for a second, but I think it's worth it. So we take it to 6 dots, and we slice it up a couple times. And then I decide I'm going to calibrate it before I invest the highest level materials. And it moves right over to speed, and we get a 25 speed mod. So that's nice. Don't have to invest more slicing materials in that. Got off cheap. So then I work my way through the rest of these gray mods, and I think that's it. I don't think we have any more of these that work out this week. But yeah, still decent turnout. A couple good mods. And here we get 8 speed, and we try again. And it's got an offense substat on it too, but we don't hit anything. Going into the greens and the blues, we get this arrow. It's a health arrow with offense set with a health main stat, which is not ideal. So that one doesn't go far. It's not a great combination anyway, so not too big of a deal. Nothing at all out of the purples and golds, which is saying something because I probably bought a good 10 mods with 5 speed, and nothing worked out for purple and gold this week. Here I'm going back into Marin, and this character, I'm going to try to get more damage. So we've seen before that sometimes we get down to Marin in Grand Arena, and we just can't quite finish off on these Jabba battles. So I try to give her a crit damage triangle and a little more offense, and we go to 3 tenacity sets, try to max out her tenacity and also give her more damage. Datacrons for the week. I'm in here first looking at this Phoenix Cron, because I'm thinking to myself, you know, I could put a bunch of resources into this Phoenix Cron, but I mean, we're in 3v3 arenas right now. The level 10 is health. 25% health is a big chunk of health. So I'm looking at it, but then I start thinking to myself, well, if Kanan Jarrus is going to provide, you know, invulnerability for all the other characters, as long as he's alive, kind of, you know, what do I care about another 25% health? So then I go over and I start working on some other Datacrons. Here we get a Separatist Datacron that we're working on. We get Admiral Trench as the top roll, and we re-roll it, and we can take Grievous out of here. So that'll give us a Grievous Cron. And then rather than work on a bunch of these Crons that I already had at level 5, I had a few of them that had some decent stats, but I don't think good enough to continue. So here we're just going to build a new Datacron for dark side characters. This has crit chance on it, a little bit of everything, and then I decide, you know what, it's not bad. Let's go ahead and take it. Sith character on level 6, and we're looking for one of those Sidious Crons, right? We'd love to get Sidious up and running. So I take this all the way up to 9, and we get Sith Assassin. So then I decide to re-roll that, and we get offered Talon, Scion, and of course the Sith Assassin. And then I re-roll it again. I said, you know what, I really want to get this Sidious. So I do end up getting the Sidious Cron. And you'll see here in a second, I do end up going back and I get another Cron that rolls Sidious. So I guess I should probably finish working on my Crons before I go back and start doing all the re-rolls. But yeah, I didn't do that. So here I'm looking to see if there's better Sith mechanics, if there's something that I want to change here for the Sidious Cron. But I just move on to another Datacron. Here we get tenacity and crit damage for the first 2 rolls. And then we get light side mechanics, which I'm fine with. We want a Cron for Cassian, as well as, you know, potentially some other things. And here we go all the way up to level 9, and we get that Cassian right away. So that's nice. Now I have a Cron that I can use for my Rogue One stuff with Cassian. So we'll take that. Here we get a little crit chance and potency starting out, light side mechanics, and I re-roll this and then decide to go right back to the dark light side mechanics. I'm reading the dark side here, thinking to myself, I don't know. I don't know how many dark side, how many light side I need. I feel like I'm, like when I play Grand Arena, whenever I'm looking for light side mechanics, I always seem to be out of those. So I'm trying to build a few more light side Crons. All right, here we get another dark side mechanic, so keep that, keep going. Get a little crit damage. Now we got some armor penetration, some more crit damage. This is turning into a very damaging Cron. Whenever an enemy is defeated by a Sith, they can't be revived. That's pretty nice. That could be useful. So we take this one up. And level 9, I'm looking here, and I'm trying to think, you know, yeah, we still got Palpatine. So I roll it, and we get another Sidious Cron. So we don't get something different, but this one really has a lot of damage, a lot of armor penetration. So we'll have to see which one of those Sidious Crons actually is better. And then in the future, if we get some more materials, we can re-roll one of them or the other if we want to try to get that Palpatine Cron. Here we roll a bunch of tenacity, and I decide that that's fine. You know, we'll take that one just for the stats. And I quit working on it at level 5. So here we're working on one. We get a little bit of health, crit, protection, potency. It's all over the place. And I say, you know what? I'm not sure that that's what I want. Now here toward the end, we're going to go into the Datacron. And we're going to go ahead and give this some levels. It's got a mechanic for chrysanthemums, so we'll take that. It's got offense. It's got potency. 40% potency is really good. So even if I don't have Afra, if I'm using chrysanthemum in the Jabba team, I feel like this isn't a bad deal. So we level up the Datacron to 6, and that gives me about the normal number of Crons that I'm typically developing for the first round of Conquest. And we could take a few more of them, like to level 3 here. We've run out of the medium materials, but we can come in here and get a couple more level 3 Crons. So we do that and get a few more stats. Crons with some low-level stats and at least a level 3 ability. And unlock the next one. We get potency and light side. So we'll take that. And that'll be the Datacron work for the week. And that's actually going to be all that I could do for the account. You can see in here I'm counting. You see the cursor moving? And I'm looking at it like, this seems like a little less than usual. But after taking the count, it is indeed the normal amount of Crons that I develop. So it's interesting. Pretty consistent with the amount of materials and money that I get to work on. Week 235, we're up to 11.29 million galactic power, 226 relics, a nice even 200 zetas, 46 omicrons. We're in Kyber 2, and I do plan to do Afra next week. And then maybe we'll finish that Datacron in the next round of Conquest. We'll have to see. Next week for energy, we're still farming Merrick, TIE Dagger, Omega, and of course we're focused on light side, trying to get those tokens to get the ultimate onto our Galactic Legend Ahsoka. In fleet, we're doing Bachelor and materials. In Cantina, I was doing 5 days a week on signal data and 2 days a week on characters. But of course, I'm just not getting enough progress. And there's several characters over there that I need to farm. We got to get the Great Mothers, Morgan Elspeth, and one of the new Bad Batches over there. So we've got a lot of farming to do in Cantina. So I'm going to switch that up to signal data 3 days a week and character shards 4 days a week. And for signal data, we're just going to try to get enough to get some of these characters their initial relic levels. We'll use up a lot of bronzium wiring, getting some characters to level relic 3 or relic 5 while we start unlocking those other characters and try to get on track to get Balin unlocked the next time his event is around. Mod energy, still doing 4 days a week on slicing, 3 days a week on mods, and then of course buying those out of the shop when I see them available. Refresh strategy, still 3 on everything. Relic priority order looks the same. We've got Afra next, but then if we really do want to do the Great Mothers next, of course we're going to have to get that Cantina farm going a little faster, so that's why I sped it up. In terms of the upgrades this week, the 2 Zetas and Omicrons on Vision, and make that SLKR team more relevant or more consistent. Hopefully that'll help me in some of the harder matchups to get better banners and make those matchups easier. I put Relic 9 onto the Ahsoka because, I mean, she's the newest Galactic Legend and she must be worth it, right? So if they ever fix the defense interaction, then, you know, maybe it's good to have her at Relic 9. But I feel like with some characters, maybe that's not out of all the stuff that I have in my account, maybe that's not the best Relic 9 to put on. But yeah, I feel like if it's a Galactic Legend, and in a lot of the matchups, let's say they leave Galactic Legend Ahsoka till last, you know, you want to make it as hard as possible for them to kill her so that, you know, maybe in some matchups she survives or at least is harder to kill. That's my logic. And for a lot of the same reasons, I did the Relic 8 and the mod upgrade on Padawan Sabine to make the damage better. And I don't think, you know, in the best matchups against Galactic Legend Ahsoka, I don't think the Relic 8 is going to make that much difference. But if the opponent is a little bit weak and they're trying to use a different team, having better relics on this team might be the difference between my opponent taking it out with a weaker team, or dropping the battle and being stuck. So I think it's worth the investment right now to get those characters to a higher relic level, make that team just a little harder to deal with. And of course, I don't have the alt yet on Ahsoka, so that's the team's not going to be ideal until that time. And it's taken me 2 weeks to get 5 tokens, so I expect it'll take 2 more weeks to finish the alt. So 2 weeks from now, I'll have that alt. And I'm not using the Shard Shop currency for her alt. So I used it to get her unlocked faster. That was nice. But now I'm just going to farm up the alt regular style. And I should have it by the time we're back in 5v5. And we'll have this team in good shape. For the Datacrons, we did get that Sidious Cron, the Cassian Cron, and Grievous. And of course, we did get that Phoenix Cron built as well, the fixed Cron for Phoenix. So it is the normal amount that I do. When I look at 1 round of Conquest, I typically get 5 high-level Datacrons, 8 or 9, and then 8 Statacrons. And I don't know where I came up with this, but I started in my own head calling these Datacrons here recently. So I think I might start calling them that when I stream as well. So Datacrons that I'm just using for stats, and I'm not trying to optimize and max out. Like the one that I rolled a bunch of tenacity on, fine. I'll just leave it at level 5. It's got a bunch of tenacity. And if I'm looking in a matchup where I want a lot of tenacity, I'll just grab that Cron for the stats. So there you go. Statacrons. I do 5 Datacrons and 8 Statacrons. That's going to wrap it up for the week 235 update for the Darth Loquitur account. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember, hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Subscribe to my channel to see more of my stuff in the future. Use the notification bell so you know when I'm doing my GAC live streams. And of course, join us on the Discord. There's a link in the video description as well as in the description of the channel. It's a nice community for new players, mid-game players. A safe place to hang out, ask questions, get good answers from experienced people who can help you out and give you good advice. There's an Ask Loquitur channel. You can ask me questions directly. Hope to see you over there. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next Holocron.